Hello, my name is Chris Firmer from LeakyPipe Systems, and if you have one of these, the chances are that you enjoy equestrian pursuits on sand fibre mixes like this, that are kept wet with a LeakyPipe Subsurface watering system. To achieve this, we split up your riding arena into a number of zones that water sequentially, one after the other. A 40 by 20 has 2 zones, a 60 by 20 has 3 zones, 60 by 30, 4 zones. The larger the arena, the more zones you have. We have installed this easy to adjust electronic controller to take the drudgery away from the watering operation. With this selector knob, the LCD screen and the buttons below the screen, you can set your schedules. At this position, it is in off, so nothing will happen. We switch this to auto, and then what you program to happen will happen. So keep it in auto, it's a good place to be. So this dial position is important. The other 2 places which are very important are start times and run times. Run times is where you set the amount of time you wish to water on any individual zone or station. Here we can see program A is set station 1 or zone 1 and the amount of time that you wish it to water for. In this case it's just set for 1 minute. So you can use the arrow keys and the plus and minus keys to adjust these settings. Select a station number, here number 2, which is at the moment set for 1 minute. We can adjust that for the amount of time we wish. Somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour a day is a good place to start. The second important place to consider is start times. This is where you set the time of day or night when you wish a watering cycle to be started. This may be just once a day, but you can have a choice of up to 4 starts a day. Once started, the controller will look to turn on station 1 for the amount of time that you have previously set in run times. Once that operation has happened, the controller goes to activate zone 2 for its programmed watering duration, and so on, until all the zones with run times have been completed. Then the system stops watering until the next start time initiates the cycle again. The example here, I've set the first start time at 1 o'clock in the morning when there's no stress on the water supply, and the second start is set to off. The next area I'd like to bring to your attention is called watering days. Simply, this is where you set a drip icon on every day you wish to be a potential watering day. The next setting around the dial is seasonal adjust. This is where you can adjust all your runtime settings all at once by applying a percentage calculation to all your runtimes. This can be anywhere between a reduction down to 5% and up to a doubling of runtimes at 200%. So a 100% setting in seasonal adjust means the settings that you put into runtimes are what are going to be actioned. So this is not a feature you need to use, but it is handy. The last important place is manual watering. Here you can select a particular station or zone number and add an amount of runtime that you wish. Turn our selector dial to auto, and this will do that amount for you and then return to program duties. Also, you can manually start a whole watering cycle where the system will water through all stations one by one for the value that you set here just once and then return to normal. Another manual start action can be prompted while the selector dial remains in auto. Press and hold the play button and the controller will initiate a cycle start using the runtimes that you previously set up in your program or programs. The same operation can be applied to programs A, B or C. If you need to interrupt the manual watering operation, just flick the selector knob to off. Wait a second, then back on to auto again. Normal programmed mode is re-established. You can allocate zones or stations to different programs, called A, B and C. These can be used to assign a valve or a group of valves to be applied to different uses or areas. In the context of this presentation, let's say outdoor arena program A, indoor arena program B. Clearly, these two applications are likely to have very different watering regimes. This is good to know about, but for most users, program A is ideal, so stick to A. If you have one of these rain sensors on your system, this device, if it gets wet enough, will interrupt the programmed watering and hold it off until it's dried out enough to allow the system to return to work. You activate the sensor on the controller with the selector and the buttons. With the selector back in auto, a rain sensor icon will appear on the screen if it receives enough rainfall on it to put a hold on watering activities. With regard to tech, you can fit this controller with a Wi-Fi module, which, if you have the coverage, opens up the delights of remote online access to your watering system as well as when you're standing in front of it. I hope the last few minutes of your time with this video encourages you to set up and adjust this great piece of electronics. It will help you establish and maintain your sand surfaces, but it needs you to judge your ride and then make an adjustment if you need it wetter or drier. So try a few different run times and see what the effect is. Soon you'll find a setting which really works for you. This is a practical and economic watering system that can work all year round if you need. If you have any questions, just call us. One thing to look out for, please maintain your sand levels and please regularly clean or replace this water filter cartridge that is installed with your LeakyPipe system. It cleans the water passing through the system and dirty filters restrict that water flow rate. The water cartridges are cheaply available from our website and they're housed in a valve box under the ground looking like this. Also from our website you can buy repair fittings for the LeakyPipe just in case you do damage one at some stage in the future. On behalf of us, thank you and keep in touch. I think it's time for some light relief now.